Hello, how you doing today? This is another episode of Natural is F. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I've been, advocating people to tap into our show today because we have a great one on education. And it might not be a bunch of hooping and hollering going on the show. Might not have a bunch of songs singing in the show, anything like that. But my message is to inform you on how to properly take care of yourself using only natural methods. In other words, no natural remedies and no natural herbs or supplements, or any of that type of stuff. Our show is basically and solely on the purpose of educating you on rightful living habits and how to clean up your environment for it can become healthy, where your environment can produce a healthier you. I want to thank ATR Media for allowing us to have this. I want you to go to their show right now, go to their platform and hit follow and hit like and become a part where you can get this information, a little ASAP. You can get notification when our show is coming up. Our show, Natural is F. They have many other shows up there as well. I see Tariko Moore is up here. Hello, Erica. How you doing today? If you have any questions, feel free. I know I talk a lot up here, and I know some people I've heard, they say they just don't want to interrupt me because I have a flow going on, and they don't want to interrupt or throw me off my teachers or anything like that. This is an interactive show. We're live here right now, and all you have to do is if you have a question about what we're talking about, a question of help, I have an outline. I can always come back to this. So if you have something that you even want to share, if you've been following our techniques and you notice that you lost weight from doing the detox that we told you, the 30-day detox, where you're getting up in the morning, meditating, drinking a glass of water, doing the conscious breathing, you're eating the fruits at 12 o'clock, and then you back to drinking water and doing your conscious breathing, and you're eating between 6 and 8, And then you, after that, you're doing your conscious breathing and drinking you some, 48 ounces of water, throughout the day at certain, intervals. If you did that, and I will show that we were talking about that, and you see a benefit, have you lost already 8 pounds in 1 week, or you done lost the 20 pounds in 14 days, or you done lost it in 30 days. Share that with us, where our new viewers can see that the messages that we're bringing are beneficial if they would just apply it. Hearing me talk about this every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and just closing the laptop down or getting off of Facebook and going on to the next thing don't help you in correcting your issues. You have to apply the information that we're providing for you. The information that we're bringing to you is called natural hygiene, and this is just natural hygiene in its essence. But when you apply it, that's what makes the difference. Just hearing is not going to do it, but you got to be a doer also. G.I. Joe said that. He even said, you got to put action to what you're doing, and you'll see a big difference. Now, our show is going to be a great show. I want you to stop right now, though, and tag some people and let them know that Natural is F is on air right now. And, share with some family, share with some friends. We're going to be talking about medical drugs, the pharmacia. We're going to be talking about herbal remedies and things like that. If you're looking for the cure for your disease, you don't have to look no further. We have the remedy for you. If you're looking for, want to know if your drugs really work, this is the show for you. We're going to show you if your drugs are really working, if your high blood pressure medicine is really working for you, if your diuretics are really working for you, if your laxatives are really working for you. Any of the drugs that the medical doctors are prescribing to you, you need to know if that stuff working for you. So this is the show to help you realize if your medical drugs are really truly working for you. We're also going to, look and see if they're actually producing disease in your life. So those things we're going to check on. All right. So, for generations, it has been pretty much talked about that drugs, food, drink, they act on the living organism, and that disease is something that which seizes upon your body and seek to destroy it. So we've been hearing this from time immemorial that drugs, food, drink, all this stuff act on your body, and not that your body act on the food, the drink, the drugs and stuff like that. So if we're under the impression that food, because you hear when people get sick, they say, well, you need to eat more food. Food gonna pump you up, or it's gonna make you get healthy. Go get some chicken soup. Chicken noodle soup is gonna make you well. Like the chicken noodle soup got some healing properties. Some boiled down dead chicken is going to got some healing properties to it, like got some healing value. Some noodles that done been soaking in, chicken broth. That it sounds good when you say chicken broth, but if you actually say boiled animal, dead boiled animal that's got all of its guts and stuff, and it mixed into the water, and you're slurping it up and stuff like that, with noodles in there or with rice or whatever you wish to put in there. But you don't see them talking about vegetable soup. I mean, real vegetable soup, not the tomato-based one. I'm talking about you just have some vegetables boiled down in some broth and you drink that. Now, you got many cultures that do just a thing like that. But here it is still, though, the food itself has no curative means because it can't cure, because the body is curing its own self. Actually, the disease that you're suffering from, most people say they catch a cold. Well, you shouldn't be catching cold. And then the symptoms that we're talking about in catching a cold is not really catching a cold. When a person starts sneezing and they're coughing, they say, "Oh, it's like I'm catching a cold." But you're not catching a cold, you're actually eliminating the cold. You're eliminating the waste. You're not catching anything, you're actually getting rid of something. Every time you sneeze out, you're ridding your body of something. So you're not catching anything. You're eliminating. Now that elimination is going through abnormal routes to free itself of waste and stuff like that. In a word, it is almost universal belief that the living organism is an object to be acted upon by outside matter, and not the actor, you know. But if we look at it though, the body either accepts food or it rejects it. It accepts drink or it rejects it. It will accept like drugs or it will reject it. So all rejection and exception is action of the body. If the body allow it inside, then it accepted it. If it when it comes inside and it starts throwing it out through the body, now it might not send it out the same way that it came in, or it might not send it out looking the same way that it came in, because it had a chance to rot. It had a chance to purify, or the body had to alter it to make it safe to come out without doing too much damage. Now, this coming out is a rejection. Let's look at laxatives, for example. Now, most people, when they're having issues, now, why do we take a laxative? All right. Most people take a laxative because they feel that they are constipated. And a lot of people believe constipation is the cause of our disease. Talking about, hey, you need to get your bowels moving. If you keep your bowels moving, you won't get sick. Anytime your bowels get sluggish, then you're going to become sick. That is the mentality that we hear from the medical people and even some of the herbal people. They believe they got to keep them old bowels squeaky clean. So they gorge them. They sweep them with laxatives and all type of other purges that purge out the bowels, enemas, and different things of that nature. They got to keep them clean. They got to be going to the bathroom 3 times a day, and I guess sometimes in between that. The more they go to the bathroom, the more pride they feel. Even when the laxative wear off, not like they had any power from the get-go, but even when the body no longer act on that laxative, you have to take more. You have to take 2 laxatives, 3 laxatives, 4 laxatives, until you take the whole bottle at one time and not getting no action from it. Is the laxative losing their power? If one laxative forces you to go to the bathroom, now it's taking 2, now it's taking 3, now it's taking the whole bottle. And now, I don't care how much you take, no action. How is it that these pills or these laxatives losing their power? You go to a whole new laxative, all you needed was a little bit action again. And you keep taking them, Then you need 2 of them, then you need 3 of them, then you need 4 until you a whole bottle of them too. Till you get no power again. It's like you're running through. And your body is no longer acting on the drug. It learns to adapt or tolerate it. This is where the doctor said you're not responding to the medication. So if you're not responding, listen to what they're saying. You're not responding. to the medicine. So there's never was no action in the drug. It takes the living organism to respond to the drug. If we listen to that one statement right there, if the medical people will only listen to that one statement, then they would change the way that they treat people. They will stop poisoning them. And they will realize that the medical drugging is a fallacy. Cure is a fallacy. But they're saying that you're no longer responding. So who is the actor if you have to respond on the drug? If the drug is there and there's no action, that means that you're not responding. If the laxative is there, but you're not responding, there's no bowel action. You're not responding to the poison. Now, we put the poison inside of you, but you're not responding. So who is the actor? And who is getting acted on? Or what is getting acted on? You are the actor. The body is the actor. It possesses vital energy, living matter. The drug is inert, dead material, lifeless material. It doesn't have any power of action. So when you ingest something, at all time, your body is in a process of rejecting and accepting. Rejecting and accepting. But it can only do that in a case of its energy level. It can only accept and reject according to its vitality. If the vitality of the individual is high, then rejection is immediately and efficient. But over time, if you keep bringing poison to the body over a period of time, the body brings down its reaction. It doesn't react like it did the first time. It don't react like it did the second time. It don't react like it did the third time. There's no action to the drug like it did the first time. You hear crackheads say this, right? I'm trying to get that high like I had the first time. But it's just a chase now. Never can get back to that high. Because the body lowers its functioning power to tolerate a stimulus that it can't conquer because you keep introducing it into the body. This lifeless matter has no power. Now that's just with a laxative. Remember we say we take it because we have, constipation. Now constipation is considered a disease, right? A lot of people think that is a disease. So what do? The doctor gives you a laxative and you end up with diarrhea now. You're sitting on the toilet, letting all out, and it's just flowing out of you. And you say, oh, I got movement. I'm healed. I'm healed from my constipation. But what do you have now? You have diarrhea. Now, let's say that you ate something and you ain't took no laxative. And your body produces a diarrhea. You're sitting on the toilet. And then now you want to take something to constipate you. You go to the doctor. Oh, man, I've been having 8 to 10 bowel movements a day. And it's draining me. It's burning when it's coming out. So he give you something to bound you up, to stop your bowels from having this diarrhea. So he constipates you. And when you go to the doctor for constipation, he creates a diarrhea in you. That's how he healed you, by causing a dis-ease in you. Because in both instances, the diarrhea is a disease, In the other instance, the constipation is a disease. So what's the difference in a disease? Constipation being called a disease if you get constipated from medicine or food. Diarrhea from medicine or food. It's diarrhea. So the doctor have to cause disease in you to correct something you crying to him about. You go to the doctor complaining about symptoms. Symptoms are not your disease. You go to him saying, I'm coughing, I'm sneezing, I'm sweating, I'm constipated, I got diarrhea. All of these symptoms, feverish, barely breathe. All these are symptoms. They're the way that the body is talking to you. Those are the elimination that is going on. That's the healing going on. Those are symptoms of detoxification. How else can the body get rid of toxins out through the mucous membrane unless you cough it up or sneeze it out? How else can it get it through the skin except for erupting in skin rashes and different things of that nature? How else can it flush out putrefying food, decaying matter, except for through a diarrhea? How else can a sluggish bowels get rest except for by producing its own constipation? So at all times, the body is in a state of protecting itself, healing itself, detoxing itself. And those actions are misunderstood. They are considered to be a foe of life. The cough is considered to be a foe, an enemy. The sneeze is considered to be an enemy. A fever is considered to be an enemy. Diarrhea is considered to be an enemy, even though it's cleaning out your digestive tract of decaying matter that's going to poison you if it lingers in your digestive tract too long. Become a system poisoning throughout your body, irritating and destroying cells. So what the body does in its efforts to protect itself and to preserve itself, it produces a diarrhea to rid itself of the waste. Now that's action of the body now. It did it when there was decaying matter. Now, why does it do it with the laxative? Same reason. The laxative is a poison. The best way to get rid of that poison is through the elimination through the colon. Just like tea. What's the best way when you drink a bunch of tea? What it got you doing? Going to the bathroom, urinating. If you drink a bunch of alcohol, what it got you doing? Going to the bathroom, urinating. So the best way to get rid of those toxins is through urination. Certain toxins are best relieved out through your breathing. Some better coming out through your cooling. So every disease or poison is being freed out through the best route with the least resistance. Also, without doing much damage. They try to do the least damage. It's not going to go out and tear out, the more vital parts off rip. We got to look at always believing that it's the vital organism that's acting in disease. It is said that the drug acts or the food and drink act. Let's look at an apple. An apple don't act on the body. The body got to act on that apple. It got to digest it. A lot of us think, that's why I say we can't give praise to anything that is outside the body. The body is the healer. It's the actor at every action. And if we get to understand how important it is that the body is the actor, we won't be putting our hopes into all these, these things that we tend to give merit to about healing us. There's a remedy for everything now. You know, you can go on YouTube, you can go on Facebook, you can go on Google and type in your sickness, type in your symptoms, and they'll come up with all type of remedies. But that's the thing. We're looking for cures. And we're not looking for obedience, education on how to remove cause. We're looking for something to cure while we continue our bad habits. It's easy for us to go to the doctor complaining about digestive issues. Man, I get sick when I eat 10 hamburgers now. I used to eat 10 hamburgers when I was young. Now I can't eat, I can't even smell the hamburger without getting nauseous and sick. I got something for that, says the doctor. I got something to have you back to eating 10 hamburgers again. What? You got something that'll return him to eating 10 hamburgers? Well, yeah, you won't feel nothing. You just take this purple pill and you can eat anything now without having an upset stomach, without having the nausea. So yeah, he take the pill and he go home and he showing up. He can eat 10 hamburgers now. But little did he know that 10 hamburgers is what wore his stomach out in the first beginning. It had his stomach feeling this nausea and terrible, but he just beat it back into action. Imagine you having a mule, you trying to get him up to this mountain. If you take him all the way up the mountain at one time, you'll kill him. You'll outright kill him. But if you give him a break, because he huffing and puffing halfway, he tired, he falling to the ground, but you just keep getting a whipping his back. Get up and make it up this hill. And he's steady letting you know, I'm tired. He can't talk to you, but he's falling all over the place. He can't just straight out his mouth and say, hey, man, I'm tired, man. Stop whipping me and leave me alone. Let me just rest for about an hour or two. If you give me rest for about an hour or two, I'll make it up that hill. But no, you can't understand his groaning, and you can't understand when he fall to the ground and tumble and all type of stuff. No, you ain't got time for that. So you get a whipping, you whip him across that back, pow, and you make him get up. He's like he got energy from somewhere. He go a little bit further, and then he fall down again. And what you do? You get that whip again. You whip him, get up, bah! Hop him across that backside again. And he yell and get to moving again. And it appeared like he got energy. But then he suddenly, no matter how much you whipping him, he fall to the ground again. This time it seemed like he lifeless. And you keep whipping him. I mean, you whipping him, but the whipping ain't doing nothing no more. He won't even get up. Just whipping him. Whip it. I mean, you hitting him harder. No matter how hard you hit him. You done killed him. Dead. This is the same thing going on with us. We're forcing our organs to function when they're begging to be left alone. And not only are we forcing them into action, we're forcing them to act back in ways that produces their sicknesses in the first beginning. This is what's producing us to go into more severe issues. We go to the doctor complaining about one thing. We got a young one say, I had to give up hamburgers. It felt like a cow was spending the night in my stomach. Yes, it is. It takes so much long to digest that stuff. And if it was lingering in your stomach, it takes so long to digest. That means that's vital energy that's constantly being expended on food. Imagine if you were only getting $100 to spend every day, and you were spending it all haphazardly. You wasn't buying it on nothing you need. You just was spending it on crazy stuff. You never had any left to buy things that you truly needed for life. This is the same thing we're doing. When we spend all our energy, we go to sleep, we get energy bucks. When we wake up, we start spending it. We talking on the phone, we're going to work, we playing our sports. We have our, behind the scenes in the room energy depleting habits. We eat breakfast. The more we eat, the more energy is required to digest that food. If we eat 3 times a day, it takes more energy to digest 3 meals than it takes to digest 2 meals. If the meal is big, it takes more energy to digest a big meal than it is a small meal. If there's more ingredients with the meal, it takes more energy to digest multiple ingredients than to digest one ingredient. And if we're snacking in between, that's more energy being used. So we're depleting all of our vital energy in our daily habits. And if that's happening, guess what? There's no energy in repairing. You know that old heart that needed to have a little makeover? Well, there's no energy for that. It was spent on, Tootsie Rolls. That digestive tract that need to be repaired because there's ulcers in there, that holes in it from a blowout from all this gas that was building up in there from decaying matter and stuff like that. It needed energy to repair that, right? But there's no energy. The energy was wasted on watching that favorite television show all throughout the night, and then you just went straight on to work. Or it was wasted out in the club, drinking and partying, and you went on to work. There was no rest. You didn't have no energy to spend on this stuff. You were spending it on the habits. So when we're spending all our energy on destructive habits, we have no energy on constructive or construction in this body. So our bodies start degenerating because we're lacking remodeling it. First of all, we're not even bringing the right materials to remodel our building. We're bringing sand, we're bringing plastic, talking about patch up this brick wall with plastic. We're not eating real fruits and vegetables. We're eating additives and preservatives and cardboard. We get some good cardboard and put some MSG on it. Everybody's eating. We get some dirt and some other rock materials, and we sprinkle some salt and pepper and a bunch of other additives and stuff that makes the palate watery. And we eat it. And we thinking this is nutrition. The culinary artists has come up with so much delightful looking stuff, tasty to the mouth, but cause havoc in the belly. It kind of puts in the mind of when John was talking in the book of Revelation, when he said, yeah, it was sweet to the taste, but it was sour to the belly. I can imagine most of the food that we're eating. It tastes good going in, but coming out, it hurts. It's goring every organ that it passes because it doesn't belong in the system. Not in that combination, not in that manner, not prepared in the way that it was prepared. So we get sick and we go to the doctor. And every drug that he gives us is to suppress the symptoms that we're having, that gnawing pain that I have in my stomach because I ate a bunch of toxic food. But instead of stopping the toxic food, because I love going to the Chinese place getting that food that they got. I love going to the Mexican place getting that food they got. I love the way they make these oxtails at the soul food restaurant with this white rice and gravy with the turkey wings, and they got macaroni and cheese, and they got cornbread and all the soul food. I love the way that it does. Say, I'm eating plant-based foods 5 times a week. I feel great, love it. I can certainly tell the difference. High energy. Listen to what these people are saying and try it. But instead of stopping the toxic food, we go to the magic man, the magician. That's what we need to call these medical doctors. M really stands for magician. You go to them complaining about a problem, they say, check this out. I'm about to show you some magic. You take this little pill. This little pill is going to have you back to eating 10 hamburgers a day with no problem. You're not going to even feel that pain anymore. But the nervous system, that pain is riding down your nervous system. So the only way to stop your nerves from crying out in pain that's in the stomach, because the stomach is saying that there's stress going on in there. So it's sending a signal through your peripheral nerves to your spinal cord and to your brain, letting you know that there's trauma going on. Instead of you stopping eating until your stomach can repair and digest what's in there and get rid of that stuff and the pain disappear, we go and do something, we stop the pain. But how do we stop the pain? We got to dull our senses. We have to numb our nervous system. We have to beat ourselves across the head, because that's where the signal coming from. So we had the way for us to stop the pain is to quiet the signal. You following me here? So we have to cause a weakness in our nervous system to stop pain. So the doctor is giving you drugs to weaken your nervous system to stop the pain. Now, how you going to know if anything else hurting in you? How you know if you're damaging anything else? How you know you're not further damaging your stomach? You can't feel anymore. You don't quiet it down. It was sending messages to you. Hey man, I'm hurting. But what you did? You just beat it. You beat it like you beat that mule. I ain't got time for this. Pop. Let's go. You say you catch the cold, you catch the flu, and it's got you in the bed. But when you take those 3 6s, or some of these other medicine that they give you, you're just allowing yourself to go get back up while you're actually really still sick. You're still sick. You're still going through issues. Your body is still trying to clean itself. It's trying to repair itself. But what are we doing? We're forcing it into action. So we're doing the mule. We're beating the mule. The medical people, I want you to understand, when I talk about the medical people, it's different than when we talk about, like I was saying earlier today, we're not talking about the emergency care people who help with people who running into, a issue like what, accident on the street or accident anywhere, falling off a roof. Now, if the pain is so unbearable that it's going to kill you to be in that pain or drain out the energies, then that's something that we would turn our head to. That is something we definitely turn our head to. Now, I want you to understand what I'm saying. There is only certain times where this stuff may be of any benefit, and not really a benefit, but may be necessary or would be allowed okay. Like if, a mother was pregnant and she was having a child and the child got turned the wrong way, or, it was too much and it was tearing up her pelvis coming out, the baby was too big or something. and it would possibly kill her in pain. Then there's something. But those things can be corrected early in life, not the one with the emergency situation. But a lot of other stuff still can be corrected early if hygienic lifestyles are incorporated into the life. So, like I said, medicine, we don't endorse them, and I won't give them to anybody. We're just going to rock out with the pain. But we're going to live in such a way that pain doesn't produce. So, this is what we're teaching you here. Is your medicine working? Does your medicine? We're going to talk about that. You said try the plant-based patties. Well, that's not natural either now. So we're going to talk about that on the show coming up real soon, because you got a lot of additives, you got a lot of preservatives, you got unnatural foods that have been denatured, it's been altered. We don't know what else is in there. You got a bunch of other seasonings and different things of that nature in there, and it's still eaten haphazardly. A lot of people still put it with a bun with these proteins, these concentrated proteins like the pea protein and the soy protein. Some of those things are still not ideal. And we don't know what these impossible stuff is. It's impossible meat they got out now. And there's a couple of other patties that they got out here now that mimic meat so much that they bleed and they look like they blood and everything. That's something you might want to stay away from. But you want to eat your food fresh, wholesome, as much as possible if you want to get to your highest state of health. Now, that's a transition, but you can't transition from heroin to cocaine. You want to transition from heroin to doing nothing, to living righteous, So you don't want to really transition into unhealthy things, because a lot of this stuff that is on the health market today are not truly healthy at all. And that's why a lot of the health community is still suffering. That's why a lot of the vegans are still suffering disease. That's why the vegetarians are still suffering disease, because they're not properly eating wholesome fruits and vegetables. They made for themselves a bunch of denatured foods that have been robbed of their vitamins and minerals, foods that have no nutritional value whatsoever in them, still having to be cooked, burned by fire. All these things. What would I suggest? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Instead of eating in that manner, let's get away from eating like that. Let's get back to eating fresh, wholesome fruits and vegetables. If you have to eat anything cooked, let it be a baked potato. Let it be some, sprouted rice. Let it be, some vegetables that, the sodium level in some of this stuff, and not just the sodium level, the level of all type of poisons inside that stuff. But you want to, like I said in our other show where we were teaching you a maintenance diet, really all you want to do, your body craves sugar, vitamins, minerals, all right? And what has all those in there? Well, fruits. And it can be eating without being cooked. You got to cook your meat. Nobody want to bite on the back of a chicken except for a fox or something like that, or a dog or something like that. They tend to go and grab a chicken and just start biting on them and all type of stuff like that, eating. Well, we don't want to do that. We got to, properly dissect that chicken, cut it into pieces and stuff like that, and wash it up and batter it with some seasoning and flour and stuff like that, and throw it in the oven, or we season it really highly and throw it on the grill or in the oven. We have ways of preparing. So in the ways of preparing the food, we denature the food, even if it was of any value. Even with our vegetables, we do the same thing. We denature our food by cooking it in the manner that we prepare the food. We make it unwholesome. The way that animals take their food is raw, uncooked, unprocessed. They don't be sitting there having food in the wild that coming from factories. They don't build manufacturing plants to make their cereal, their breakfast, and fix them, food for lunch and have dinner prepared in such a way. No. And they don't suffer the diseases that we do. We need to get back to our natural way of eating. The body was biologically uh, created to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. Everything about us is screaming that we're fruitarians by nature. The food is packed in such a way that it can bring health to our body. We have this thing called the opposable thumb. That's for grabbing. We don't have instruments to go around and jumping and clawing on stuff, but neither can a tiger go and reach for an apple because he don't have the opposable thumb. He got the claws and everything and the speed, the burst, the going after his food. We don't have that. So how was man eating before the culinary artists came about, before fire was invented? So the manner of eating should be, if we want to get to our highest state. Now, you remember, we natural as F here, and we're teaching the optimum. I know a lot of people say, well, come on, man. I just was eating oxtails and gravy yesterday, and you just want me to pull off that just like that? Well, it's the best thing to do. But I'm always going to tell you the more, the more bottom line thing. Yeah, it's great that you still, you got away from the animal flesh, and you say you vegetarian, meaning that you still indulge in like cheese, butter, eggs, and stuff like that. Or are you vegan? Vegan where you don't deal with any animal flesh or animal byproducts or anything like that. And that's why I say it's levels to this. But the level of eating is going to give you your level of health. The optimum is what I'm always bring to you because I'm keep it natural as self. So I'm going to bring you the optimum. Now, if you deviate from it, that's you deviating, and you will suffer accordingly. And you don't even have to be no suffering, but your energy is going to be depleted according to how demanding your lifestyle is. If a lifestyle of eating only fresh fruits and vegetables that have been uncooked, unprocessed, that's not chemically laden, anything like that, is going to be the less amount on your digestive tract. It's if you eat the food right, a ripe banana is going to digest more faster than a green banana. So that's why I say everything is going to be in the most optimum, the way we're telling you, if you want to get to that optimum health. Get the right banana. It's sweeter, it tastes better, you know, and it's going to provide more nutrition for you, and it's going to be less energy in digesting that right banana. You can give it up, I promise you. I tell you what you do is go on a minor fast. I have a lot of people who are unable to give up certain stuff. Zechariah in the Bible said the best way to break any chains is to abstain from something. If you stay away from it for a good while and try to come back to it, it will be terrible to you. It won't be the same. Right now, it got hooks and chains in you because this is your custom. But once you free yourself from it by turning your back to it, they say this in the chain game, out of sight, out of mind. You lose the fond of a person by being away from them. Space creates, breakage. So when you give space, a lot of people say in a relationship, you mean you ask for space? We know that's the end. You start saying, well, I need space. That's what we need to tell this toxic lifestyle that we have. I need space from you. I need time to myself. I don't need to be around you anymore. You baked potato, you chocolate chip cookies. Whatever the situation is, we need to tell it. We need space, And the way to break yourself from it is a lot of stuff. Believe me, I was the most indulged with all type of stuff. I gave up a lot of things. It wasn't easy for me, but it was detrimental for me to do so to correct the issue that I was suffering from. My disease was more hurtful than giving up some of the stuff that I was eating. It wasn't worth me to eat another burger with cheese, with fries, with a large Coca-Cola, when it would keep me up all night suffering from diabetic neuropathy and my sugar levels to the roof with headaches, all these different issues, rashes all over my body because I needed the hamburger, because I love bacon, blood pressure problem, all these other issues. It's easy to eat raw vegetables and fruit. Like I said, if you go to eating a lot of the sweet fruits, you'll notice that your hunger sensation will be taken care of. The reason why we tend to eat a lot of cooked foods is because we're not eating proper foods, and food shouldn't have you hooked. That should let you know that it's something you need to let go because it got you hooked. You don't see people talking about, oh man, I can't stop eating grapes. Oh man, I can't stop eating bananas. Oh man, I can't stop eating oranges. Because those are wholesome food, and once you had enough, it automatically cuts off. You don't have a desire for them. But cookies, man, you can sit there and be full, stuffed to the rim, and them pack of cookies sitting right there calling your name. Eat one more, eat two more. That pie got you getting up in the middle of the night to go down there and cut another slice. You getting out of your bed to put clothes on to get down to Taco Bell. All this different stuff, those toxic addiction that make you do those things. You don't see nobody running off the road and blowing just to go get fruit because they're not addicted. But they are the food for kings. They are the food to keep your body healthy and strong. All that other food is poison. Poison creates this craving, this false jaded appetite. Poison. And that's what medical stuff is. It's poison. It's drugs. That's why we were on that, showing you that your medicine, they don't work. All they're doing is masking your problem and creating bigger problems later on. If you stop the cough, then whatever you was coughing, where is it going? The stuff that you were sneezing out, that mucus with all that yellow stuff and the green stuff, and where's the green stuff at if you stop the sneezing? If you stop the diarrhea and all that decaying, you're stink, buddy. Well, where's all that stink stuff going at if you constipate yourself with some milk of magnesia or something? Where's all that stuff going at? It's staying inside your body. If you got trash in your house and you need to take out the trash, but you're too lazy to take out the trash and you just keep making piles of trash, look at the people on Hoarders. If you look at the people on Hoarders, you will see that these people are not taking out trash and parasites in there. The house smelled terrible and all type of other stuff. So imagine when you're in your body and your colon is not getting rid of waste normally because it doesn't have energy to do it in, and your kidneys is not getting rid of waste because it don't have energy to do it because it's constantly getting rid of Coca-Cola. It's constantly getting rid of coffee. It's constantly getting rid of alcohol. So it don't have energy to clean out toxins that accumulate from cellular tissue. The colon can't get rid of cellular waste and stuff like that because it's getting rid of fried chicken. It's getting rid of noodles and noodles and noodles of noodles. It's getting rid of all these snacks and honey buns and different things of that nature. You know, the lungs can't get rid of air because it's constantly in a toxic environment too. We don't even realize that we allow our lungs to harden because of the environment we put them in. We're sitting there breathing candles, and we're sitting there, spraying Febrezes and different other air wicks, and we got plugins in our sockets, and we have them in our cars and stuff. We're never breathing fresh air. We're constantly on chemicals. Chemicals are constantly, we're breathing it in. Chemicals, 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 and more chemicals. And we're wondering why we're suffering. And then, like you said, we go to the doctor and we start telling them, man, I can't breathe. And all he's going to do is give you an inhaler. He's not going to tell you, man, you need to get into some fresh air. If you talking, your bones hurting, it's aching, and I'm suffering with anemia. Hey, go some medicine, or we give you some blood. But he won't tell you to go out there into the sun and get you some vitamin D. You know, so all this medicine and all this different poisons we put in our body, they're only masking the symptom. They're stopping the symptom. But you remember, the symptoms is your cure. The symptoms is your savior. Every time you cough out, you should say thank you. Every time you sneeze, appreciate it. Every time you have a diarrhea, great job. Not, woe is me, I need to get this stopped. Or I'm coming down with something. You're not coming down with anything. You're getting rid of something. That's the miraculous drainage of the body. The body is draining out poison. It's a drainage system. Anything that comes into the body that the body can't utilize is going to be rejected. So yeah, the food tastes good, yes, but it's going to be rejected. I don't care if it's vegetable. If the vegetable is not prepared properly, if it's been denatured, the body is going to reject it. So why eat it? It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time, and we're going to poison ourselves while we're eating. We're robbing ourselves of the chance to do real housework. You wouldn't rob yourself of rebuilding your house properly. You use fine materials in doing so. You won't cut corners and say, yeah, well, I love gold up here. And especially when you have the ability to put gold in your house, you don't say, well, I love gold, but today I get hooked on this steel, like this iron ore. You made your steel out of iron ore, it's iron ore. But you can rebuild your body properly using the fresh fruits and vegetables. You think you got energy now and feel better. Believe me, I'm not fussing at anybody, anything. Let me make sure I just talk real passionate when I'm talking about this health. But it's just for shock value. It's showing you that, when you get to a level of health, when you're eating, the ideal food for your body. I mean, the ideal food. Now, there's food, but then there's ideal food, which is the fresh fruits and vegetables. Fresh, wholesome, not cut up. Like I say, going into these grocery stores and getting all this cut up fruit that they got out there, that food has been oxidized. That fruit has been spoiling, rotting, and it's of no value anymore. Most of the vitamin C has done escaped in an hour or two after it's been cut. And God knows how long that fruit been sitting out there. Sometimes that stuff shipped in already cut up. So a lot of that food, yeah, it's fruit, but it's not of any value anymore. It done started oxidizing, losing its vitamins, losing its minerals. So that's why I say, get you a pineapple, a fresh one, and you cut it. Get you an apple, and you cut it. Let the first thing that bite into that package, and you bust the seal on it. That's eating fresh, wholesome. When you bust the ceiling, that'll be your medicine. That medicine is the only thing that's not rejected by the body. It don't reject fresh fruits and vegetables unless it just don't have the energy to do it and you overeat. But whereas poisons, it don't reject it. A fruit go into your body and it don't come out in a diarrhea. It becomes flesh and bones. It's assimilated into the blood. It's absorbed into the body, and it becomes flesh and bone. But a laxative is not taken up into your body and become bones and flesh. It's purged out of the system as a poison. All poison. The doctor will tell you they're medical poisons. They'll tell you. They come with these different laxative names and different, it's poison at the end of the day. You can't let your kids get their hands into it. They got poison control number on them. Somebody get into this, call the poison control center. You don't have that on apple, pears, peaches, and plums and stuff like that. Hey, if you eat too much of this, you need to call the poison control center. No. But even those foods that we're cooking, and we're running out of time here, and make sure y'all stay tuned because you got the Bisha Blakely show coming on next. But I just want to share this last little piece with you, and we're going to delve back into this conversation even next week. So make sure you're here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. But even those other foods, if it's not aiding your body, then it's robbing your body. So let's get away from, you like taste? Have you ever tasted a bad apple? Have you ever tasted a bad plum? Have you ever tasted a bad grape? How often have you had a bad banana that just didn't taste good? If it's right, it's going to taste great. Orange, all that stuff tastes great. You're talking about taste, and you don't have no downtime. It don't hurt your stomach. It don't cause distress in your body. You never heard nobody say, "Oh man, I got so sick, man. I sit there and been eating fruits and stuff like that, and now they said that I got issues in my body." No, you don't hear nobody say that because nobody does that. But the more people you see, if you ask them, the people who are sick, ask them what their diet is like. They'll tell you, "Oh, we went to Longhorn every Sunday, and we went to Ruby Tuesday every Saturday, and we had fish fries and cookouts every Friday. And on Monday, that was the days that I, do other restaurant takeout, like Chinese. And on Tuesday, we'll crank up the grill too. And on Wednesday, that's hump day. We might have some pasta or something like that. It's always toxic. You don't hear nobody talking about fruits and vegetables or anything. Oh, well, yeah, we Wednesday was our watermelon day. We only ate watermelon. Thursday, oh man, that's the day, man. We be on them grapes and those bananas like crazy, man. Friday, man, oranges, grapefruit, man, we be on that citrus, man. Friday, that citrus is where it's at, Those people you see at the park running around, talking like that. The other people, you see them on the couch, flipping the channel, complaining with their belt popped open. So I just want to keep that in your mind. If you want to get healthy, do what the healthy people do. Follow us, Natural is Health, and we'll make sure that we give you great information about holistic health and healing. Y'all have a great one. Love y'all. Glad you're here. I'm glad that you tapped in with me today. Let us talk a little bit. Let's do that more often. I'm here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Best of health and happiness from us. Have a great one.